This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. Happy with the shot, my love.
Love it. Welcome back to the Cheers, my love. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We double batched a couple weeks ago because we had some more travel. This will probably become a normal thing.
So Lauren's she's now doing a monthly thing at the Soho House in New York City, and this was Soho House number 2, and like, what a fucking triumph. She's such a good speaker. Babe, the way that you can listen to a question, and like a lot of the times it's a layered 2-part question that someone will ask. You can answer the first part, you can grab knowledge from books and quotes and your peers, bring it together, answer the second part of the question, like circle back to the first part. It's so eloquent how you can do it. Like, what a victory. You are such an impactful speaker.
Thank you.
I know I'm biased, but fuck that. I'm looking at it from, I'm looking at it from an objective lens. Yeah, you fucking rock. Go ahead.
The objective bias list.
Correct.
No, it means a lot to you because we talked about a lot coming from you because one of your favorite forms of art is stand-up comedy. And you know this, that some of my favorite comedy ever is crowd work, is when somebody from the crowd does something and the comedian has the capacity on stage to weave in this piece into their set. And then when they revisit it later on, or they like touch it later on, I think to me, it ends up feeling communal. It ends up feeling like we're a part of something special. I think live theater obviously is what I grew up on, which was scripted. And yet there was stuff that would happen in the live performance that only that audience got. And so it feels like this beautiful blend of, kind of being in the room where it happens. Like, this is a one-time only type of thing. And especially the second one felt very communal, connected by the end. Thank you. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Okay, so we've gone through 2 of them. I've been at both of them. I'd say 95% of your audience is female.
90 to 95. I think at the first one there were a few more men than at the second. Yep.
All right.
But the point stands.
Okay.
Majority.
Yeah, and I'll say this to your face if you're listening to this. I'm not impressed with the questions that the men are asking. Mm-hmm. Women ask very specific questions, and almost like, this is the issue, how do I solve it? And men will ask these, for the most part, I know I'm generalizing, like these kind of meta, like, what is life type questions. Okay, as a man, as a straight white man, and then in our society, I get the job, I get the car, I get the house, I get this shit. I go on these vacations, I do this thing, I have this status. I get the wife. Cool, right? What do men need as far as going inside and doing the type of work that few of them do? And I'm starting to put together a list of what are the quests? What's the shit that, and I'm just speaking about straight guys right now because that's my lived experience, not my beautiful gay brothers. What do we need? Where would you say? Where would you start? And then I'd love to piggyback off your stuff.
I was learning something the other day about how most people in male bodies who identify as straight learned to stop tuning into the emotions of women in toddler years to 3rd grade, when they would come up to their mom when she was obviously sad and would be like, "Mommy, what's wrong?" And she'd be like, "Oh, nothing, sweet boy, nothing." And so an adaptive pattern that young boys absorbed was, when I sense that mom's not okay, I just need to ignore it and not be present with this. I need to not attune, because we're all born the same, right? And so it's always a constant happened in my brain of how did culture raise up such different, yeah, it's so obvious in that room. Women are asking these like practical, straight questions. How do I fill in the blank? I would like this. I seem to have a roadblock. How do I overcome this? The men, it was almost like they were trying to trick me at my own game type of thing. These questions that were asked was like, let me give you a question that's too hard to answer type of thing. Like, and let me see if I trust you, which that's fine. Trust is earned through trustworthy behavior. I am fine answering hard questions. And also, I love men. Like, it's not going to shock me. But I did think that that was interesting, that maybe this is one of the origins of where it's coming from. Is this, oh no, honey, don't worry about it. Mommy's okay, when mommy wasn't okay. So that was interesting to me, because one of the first things I was going to say is we have so made quote unquote men in our culture be afraid of failure. You were saying, I'm supposed to go do this, I'm do this, I'm do this. We have so made them afraid of failure.
If I'm on that track, if I'm on that type of track, yes.
Sure. And most of the humans who live in New York City are driving for something.
Are on that track.
Which I'm here for. And I think the vulnerability, the risk-taking that is inherent in human relationship is fraught with failure, fraught with discomfort, fraught with you're not going to have all the answers, fraught with there is no guidebook, fraught with we haven't been coached up.
I'm going to stop you right there. What's the guidebook? Literally, what is the list? Bing, 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 bing. What are the list of accomplishments? What are the books that need to be read? What are the things that need to be deconstructed? What are the what's the bullshit that you need to call yourself out on? Oh. What is the guidebook?
God, it's a good question.
Where do you start?
I think you need to start as a student. Like I'm sitting here thinking, you know what I immediately did? I have, you know how much I read? I am a voracious reader. I was like, what if these books would a man actually read?
Sure. Okay.
What is going to keep his attention? What I already started doing was dumbing down the material.
Oh, that's fine. You can if you want to.
But isn't that wild?
That you already like.
That I was already like, oh.
See, you say dumb down, I say simplify. Which is fine. Okay. Igniter. The igniter for me was I was seeing this very attractive woman that I was interested in. We went out on 2 dates. Then I couldn't get her back on the phone. Mm-hmm. And I said, what am I doing that's not working?
Yeah. I thought of that so often while I was sitting up there.
So what is not serving me?
Right. Which is why, sorry, I'm derailing this, and I know you want just like boom, boom, boom.
No, go wherever you want.
It is, that thing was in my head as I sat up there, especially at the second one, and I had these vibrant, brilliant women asking me questions. It's why I kept saying, stop doing shit. Because I think that one of the necessary teachers for all human beings is not getting something that you want. And when we continue to mollycoddle people around us and accept their scraps, right? When we know they could do better. We know they could do better. I'm like, just stop going out on dates with these dudes.
Okay,
most people are...
Expand on these vibrant women, and you're telling them to stop doing shit.
Okay,
what do you mean by that?
We had these women in the crowd both times who were like, I have, and they would go into their self-work. They would go into like a year of celibacy. Now they're dating again. The books they had read, the things they were doing for themselves, their journal practice, their meditative practice, their working out, like how they were caring for themselves as a holistic human being, the things they were interested in, the jobs they had. I mean, these people at Soho House usually are young professionals with jobs that they love. Like these are like cool humans. Who love sex, who are sex positive, who want to have connective, juicy sex. They just don't want to be ghosted after the sex. They don't want to only have sex and then be walked away from. And yeah, I was just like, you don't need to do anything. I think actually the best solution to this problem would be to be I was thinking of, and maybe I'll tell your story next time. The thing that lit the fire under your butt was a woman not calling you back.
Correct.
She was like, no. And That's beautiful. That is like a natural consequence. And that we should all do that more instead of overcompensating for another's lack.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, if you're really interested in someone, you're going to help them along. But there is a point.
Mutually.
There is a fuck you point where it's like, I can't do it all for you.
No.
I think it was Adam Carolla, the comedian. He goes like, if a woman's interested in you, she's going to start opening doors. But when the doors start closing, you need to acknowledge that and just see that.
Yeah, and I think, we say Adrienne Marie Brown's quote all the time, there's your work, there's my work, there's our together work.
Yes. Okay. Let me give you a
Sorry.
totally okay. Let me give you a specific question. Where do you start with in your practice, your straight white men?
Yeah, we start with
And then can we specify the scenario where is this going to be a coupled man or is this going to be, let's go single man?
let's go single man, because I do work with single men. It's my deepest joy. Okay, so we start with a timeline. This is why I was so encouraged to hear recently that a young boy determines his role in sex between the ages of 7 and 10. He doesn't even know what sex is by that point, but he has developed an understanding of what is his to do. So when I do timeline work with my clients, we go back to birth and we come to now. And then I make an entire worksheet, because I'm a nerd and I love it, based upon the stories they told me. And I make fill in the blanks that are things like my role is to, a woman's role is to, sex is, relationships are, marriage is. You better believe what I see consistently. Relationships are hard. Relationships are confusing. Relationships are miserable. From a child's lived experience.
Can we do that? Can you ask me these questions and I'll go back to 10-year-old Trey?
Yeah, can we go to 7-year-old Trey?
Great.
Okay, so like embody. We talk about Trey's memories on here all the time. Okay, just kind of put yourself in that space. I want you to give me answers for how 7-year-old Trey would answer. Okay,
Sure.
Not now. Great. Relationships are
between a mother and son.
it's my job to.
Make mom happy.
It's a woman's job to.
Do everything.
Sex is.
Gross.
I want.
Batman action figures.
To stay safe, I.
Stay in my room. Play by myself. Yeah.
This feels.
Oh, curious. Adventurous.
Great. Okay, let's skip to 14.
Oof. Okay.
Relationships are.
Hard. Really fucking hard.
A man's job is.
Jeez, I don't know. Stay out of the way or be agreeable or be funny or be accepted.
Girls are.
Attractive.
A woman's job is to.
I don't fucking know. I don't.
It's
I
okay.
Don't know.
I don't know. It's perfect. I want or need.
Freedom.
This all feels.
Boring / overwhelming.
To stay safe, I.
Stay out of my home.
Sex is.
Curious.
21. Can I embody that for a sec?
Okay.
Sex is.
Interesting. I want more of it.
My job is to.
Take care of myself.
A woman's job is to.
I don't know.
To stay safe, I.
Stay busy and build.
I want or need.
Money. Friendship. Yeah.
Relationships are.
Developing with men. With my friends.
Marriage is.
No. No fucking way.
Women are.
Marriage is a trap.
Women are.
I want more of them.
This all feels.
Adventurous.
This was so perfect. Well done, my love.
Thanks.
Because what we could see here for the audience who is observing is some of these things were growing and were naturally curious to Trey, which is really cool. Like that's what's supposed to happen over our lifetime. Others of these things, everyone noticed, you noticed, I don't know. I don't know. So they're fill in the blanks. They are right. There are knowledge gaps is what we would call them. So what I would do with a typical client is exactly what I do with you, except we'd go memory by memory. We'd start with, that memory of your mom screaming on the phone or your dad, right? Those types of things would come up. And then we'd be like, okay, this is where we need to fill in the blanks. So we would start with an understanding of humans, right? An understanding of what our culture has told us is a man's job, how he gets connection, right? What sex even is. So oftentimes I will create kind of bullet points or journal prompts or whatever really sits with my client the best. Some of them are auditory processors. Some of them are things. So sometimes I'll send a podcast, with Stephen Bartlett, The Diary of a CEO. That's a great starting point. That is an excellent foray into the world of relational experts in a way that is really driven by a straight man. And I really enjoy it. So Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO podcast. He recently interviewed Esther again, and it's so good. So Esther is on there, this incredible, I've been talking Trey's ear off on this expert on non-monogamy and fatherhood. She's an anthropologist. It's just genius. The reason I say that is that we don't have, Trey obviously doesn't, and you've all seen the work that he's done, an accurate understanding of a woman's role. You don't know. That's okay.
What is accurate? What does that mean?
For instance, okay, so it could be so many of your questions were like, answers were curious. I want to know more. Yeah. That was not your answer for, and you could probably feel it in your body too, for any of the woman things.
No.
You were like,
I pissed women off into my mid-20s, especially authority figures. So my mother, teachers, any female bosses, that took till my late 20s, early 30s to stop fucking doing that.
And that's okay. So also what I was telling these women is the development of men is different. So I would encourage women to listen to Alison Armstrong's work on the development of men, and I would encourage men to listen to Alison Armstrong's work on the development of men. It is fucking fascinating. Is it old school and does Trey not like her voice? Yes. But
sorry, I apologize to Alison Armstrong.
She's genius. She don't care. She's made a whole business off of loving people in male bodies and teaching us all how to grow up together. There is growing up that still needed to be done. In Trey's body, I'd argue it's still happening now.
Sure.
And you're at 40. Yay. Me too, guys. This is not... I think having a student mindset, having a lifelong learning approach is the best place. But what Trey's responses are so typical of a man, because we grew up with this internalized misogyny. We grew up not loving women, not being curious about women. Trey was so curious about so many things, not women. And that's cool. There's this great new book out called Boys and Sex. This is one of the places I would start. I'm currently reading it. It's great. Peggy Orstein, I believe. I'm pronouncing the last name wrong, but Boys and Sex. And it goes bit by bit by bit. First exposure to porn, first exposure to how you learned that you were supposed to show up in sexual relationship. It's definitely on Audible. It would be a great walking listen. So good. So good. 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. Also good. Nathaniel Branden, old school book, kind of in line with some of the OGs that Trey read. Understanding your inherent worth that is not defined by sexual connections, sexual prowess, sexual marks, sexual body count. Really important, because I think what men are out there doing is trying to get laid, because it is a sign of power, prestige, accomplishment. And they don't have a clear understanding of women. So it's so funny. It's like sex was curious to Trey. Sex Trey wanted more of. Okay. But women he didn't understand. In my mind, that's a conundrum, because the people Trey wanted to have sex with are women. We could sit there and be like, arguably, that's a little sketch, right? Like, we didn't understand women, and yet we were having sex with them. There's nothing inherently wrong. I don't ascribe to shame. That is not what's going to happen here. What I do ascribe to is none of us got a complete and accurate understanding of how we get to show up sexually and what sex really is to us. Then, of course, I'd work in Dr. Betty Martin's work on redefining sex, because we've got to. Then I'd look at porn and our relationship to porn. Then I would look at relational techniques, right? Styles of sexual initiation, how we're having conversations with human beings. Our men's understanding of women's sexual appetite is vastly different than how women understand themselves as sexual beings. What's so interesting is that women are more sexually adventurous than men, and yet we have been told that we have the lower libido. We have the lower sex drive. And it's just not true. We just want more risky sex, more fun sex, more exploratory sex, more romantic sex, more all of these things. And men just want to, quote unquote, get laid. They want to get their penis wet. And I understand that it feels good. I am here for the beauty of how it feels.
It feels good.
It feels good.
Okay.
I'm
baby,
rambling. Go.
Baby, so we've got a timeline. We've got a few books. We've got a few podcasts. What next?
Trial and error.
What do you mean?
So the men who work with me are encouraged to take a woman out on a date and ask curious questions.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stop you right there where... Okay. All right.
I'm okay with the failure first, because I
Interesting.
need to learn what's not going well.
Okay.
So before I coach up, I like to see in real time a failure, but you go ahead.
I would get more resourced and more armored before starting to date again.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I love it. Would you have a dating pause?
What do you mean a dating pause?
Would you be like, I need a intentional, you heard from the women in that space. A lot of them had put themselves in an intentional season of celibacy.
No. Pardon me, I'm taking notes.
No, I love it. It's very sexy.
I'd recommend a dating pause, but it's to get armored. Can we use a different term?
Like,
I don't want to keep using
he's
war terms.
Closing his heart off, and I think what we're looking
resourced.
for.
I would get more resource.
Yeah.
I would get more resource before I'd go out.
Mm-hmm. Great. Then I would also do some work on attachment styles and how do you show up, right? Are you avoidant? Are you anxiously attached? All of these types of things. How do you show up in relationship? You can ask your dude friends this. They'd be able to tell you right away.
Okay, so the resource and armor, because I know you don't like mentioning this book because he's a big Republican, but it's the book that was most impactful for me was The 3% Male by Corey Wayne on how to date a woman and to actually really kind of focus on what you want as a man and then be busy with a mission and a purpose.
Yeah.
So I would actually establish what's your mission, what's your purpose. Missions, there can be 20 or 30 of them. Yeah. Like building a new deck is a mission. It doesn't have to be big. Yes. It's like paying bills, doing your job, all this. And then a purpose is a big one where it's like overlapping. I found out in my 20s that my purpose was to help children. And then when you know your purpose, say if you're searching for your purpose, when you finally land on something, you're going to get so emotional that you're actually going to break down and cry, which happened to me. So my purpose is to help children. And then missions can be a bunch. And then when you actually connect your missions to your purpose, and then you mix in your passions, holy shit, that's the secret sauce. So for a man, I would invite you to get really busy on finding and then working on your missions, purposes, and then mixing in your passions with those two things. And then figuring out how to monetize all of those things. Because that's a really neat thing. When you can generally, it's 90% of the time, it's to the benefit of others, to serve others. And then if you can monetize it, it's a really nice life. What else? Okay, yeah. So that book, and also that book was written in 2011.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in that man's politics,
Yeah.
but I don't want to minimize the impact that it's had on my life. It's why I am married to you.
Yes.
One of the big reasons.
Beautiful. And I think, the Bible was impactful in my life too, and I no longer ascribe to those values.
Yeah.
We are okay.
It's not on our list.
We are okay to say, I used to believe, and then
Yeah.
I learned, and now I think. It is beautiful to have a book that is our inlet, that is our starter pack, that sets us on our journey, that shakes up our brain. And that book did that for you. It really, truly did. And that book, I loved that. I listened to it as well. And it said things about don't waste a woman's time, right? Listen, she's also got other prospects out there. If she's not aligned for you, stop wasting a woman's time.
One of the biggest ones was don't waste your time. Where why would you want to waste your time on a woman that's not interested in you? And guess what? You can be Brad Pitt 20 years ago. Most women are actually not going to be interested in you. So don't waste your time on that.
Right.
Look at the cues.
Yes.
Don't project. We use project a lot. Do not project your own interest onto another person. I did that in my 20s. That was me in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I knocked it off in my 30s. And guess what? I met you.
Yes. Now, Corey and I are going to differ on a lot of things, specifically a lot of politics right now, but that's really not important. What is really important is that I don't think that Corey emphasizes as much attachment theory as I do, as much emphasis on long-term partnerships, dating for more than the purpose of conquering and getting what a man wants. And yeah, so it's gotten a little extreme in these days, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't remember any conquering stuff,
Yeah.
but
I'm so thankful for the things it gave to you.
yeah, great. And
True.
it's really one piece of this
Exactly.
big old puzzle that we're putting together. So we're going to call that books, pods, resourced. Then you're going to say get back out there, trial and error, which I agree with. You mentioned attachment. What's it called? Attachment
Theory is one of the things we use.
Okay, and on my list, it's like, what are your attachment mechanisms in health,
Good job.
in unhealth? And then on my list is, where do you go in unhealth? For example, me, in unhealth, I have to do it all by myself, which is like a version of martyrdom, which is nobody will help me. So that's a big one. And then for me, what I've worked on is frustration leads to anger, leads to rage. And I learned at a very young age from my mother that do not point rage outward because it's so devastating to relationships. Because I saw her just cycle through friends and burn bridges. That was my childhood and my teens and my 20s, just her burning bridges until finally she burned the relationship between us. So I learned to point rage inward. Those are a few examples of where I go to in unhealth. How would you put that for your people?
You did it beautifully. You really did it beautifully. I'm thinking of that thing I said in the very beginning of a young boy learning between the ages of 3 and 7 that you see mom being sad, but she says, I'm not sad. Okay. So when a woman then is sad, talk about a burden. Right? Talk about not having any of the tools and talking about feeling that a woman is too needy, right? Because this is how we've conditioned men to be. So I'd also do a lot of coaching up on these are appropriate human needs, right? For you to show up for, be consistent with communication, be clear and honest with when you're going to call, when you're going to follow up, when you're not, right?
This is for men?
Yeah.
Two
really,
women?
yeah, to really talk through communication as a healthy tool of attachment, right? To really understand that.
You're talking about with a partner?
Yeah, with anybody you're dating, right?
can
What
we-
I see so often.
What's the work that we can do on ourselves?
To learn how to healthily communicate. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of men know how to start, continue, and end relationships. What I see a ton of is ghosting. I don't know how to deal with this, right? I slept with her. Now I don't want to do anything more. So what are the things you need to learn about attachment, of how you show up? This is piggybacking on what you're saying. What are some things that drive you crazy about women, for instance? What do you think they're needy? And again, this is really interesting. Watch the relationships around you. Do you like how your friends are relating with their girlfriends? Do you enjoy this? Who is communicating well? This would be a great thing. Watch him. What does he do? Do you have a coworker? Do you have a boss who communicates with his partner well? What do you notice? Does he seem happier inside of his relationship? Why? Most likely it's because of this fascinating thing called communication. And most likely they are attuning to each other's nervous systems, which is an attachment-based need.
Okay, so yeah, the advanced level of being a man, what you're talking about is actually taking care of someone else's nervous system. And then risking, let's use the example of I would just like to sleep with her and really just have kind of nothing else.
Yes, yeah, that's totally fine. A recreational sexual encounter.
So the advanced version of that is actually having that conversation before sex happens and then risking being okay with the woman saying, I'm not interested in that. And guess what the man doesn't get? He doesn't get to fuck.
Yep.
That takes a lot of balls to do so.
Yep.
It's the road less traveled. But to have a conversation like that, to actually to have the structure, which is going to be beneficial of how do I start that? What do I say? What are the words I want to say? It takes a lot of balls, but you get to take care of someone else's nervous system, and then you don't get to kind of have them have to cope with the repercussions of,
I mean, you sat in that room. You said 95% were female. How many of them had been confused, wounded by a person in a male body?
I think it's universal I think it's universal both ways. I think it's just very human.
Yeah.
I think it's extremely human.
And so for us to just sit in that and say, okay, most of us have been wounded in relationship, whether it was with a parent, whether it was with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a whomever, most of us have been wounded. And as a society, what do we want to do about it? Do we want to do this work, to tool up, to fill our tool belt with all this juicy stuff so that we can go on casual dates? That's fine. But yeah, sit there and talk about what sex means to us. I have an acronym. I'll put it down below. And understanding the motivation for this sexual encounter. It's okay to want a recreational, casual sexual encounter. It is okay.
Can we do a scenario? We went out on our first date. Mm-hmm. We had a heavy makeout sesh. That was it. We're now on our second date. Can we have that conversation?
Sure. Yeah, right now.
Okay, and now
I'll close it out on this because I've got a client in 5 minutes.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. Before going into this conversation, and this is, what do you want? This is not you and I talking to each other as our second date. What do you want?
This is important. Okay, so we've had a casual sexual encounter after the first date, or no?
We had a heavy makeout session, so we did have a casual sexual encounter.
And we did. We had a heavy makeout.
First base.
Okay, I'm getting really true. This is really me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to get laid, but more importantly, the deepest want is a relationship. Mm-hmm. Really deepest want is a relationship, is partnership. I find it juicy. I find it fun. That is my deepest want, is a continual sexual encounter. So I'm sitting there. Okay, so I have my want.
Okay, so you want relationship.
Yep.
One word? Mm-hmm. Great. I want just casual, like obligation free, like really fun, connected sex. It scares me to be obligated to someone else. I'm currently focused on my career and I'll say it, a healthy level of selfishness right now where I can't commit to you. I'll say that.
Great.
I'm at the point where I can't commit to you.
Thank you. I view that as honorable.
Oh, now let's go into the conversation.
Okay. Sorry. Hey, Trey.
Hey, Rhonda.
Ooh. Hey, Trent. So, I know you asked me to really think about what I really wanted, what my motivation was. We had that really hot makeout last time. And I sat with it. And thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. As much as I would like to say I'm really interested in casual sex right now, I'm interested in relationship. And I think I have a lot to offer. I think I'm an incredibly juicy caretaker. And I think I'm at the point where I really want to have a mutual investment in relationship with a man who's so ready for that. I want to serve and be served. I want my sex to roll into lazy breakfasts in bed. I think that I have so much to offer career-wise. I have a great career that I love, and I'm ready to play with a partner and go on dates, and I'm sick of the apps, and I'm looking for a relationship.
Thank you for sharing that with me. What I'm hearing from you is that you want relationship, partnership, and I'm assuming exclusive monogamous relationship, partnership.
Yeah, this season. I'm not compulsively monogamous, but I am interested in a primary partner. And so whether we would play with others somewhere down the line sounds great. But what I'm really interested in nurturing in this season is a really supportive partnership.
Thank you for sharing that with me. And this last week, since our last date, I have gotten resourced as fuck. I've read so many books and podcasts. In the past, I've ghosted women after sex. And I did a self-inventory where that's no longer serving me. And I don't want to continue to repeat that pattern because I feel like a piece of shit. And I also got some text messages that I didn't respond to saying, like, hey, this is not how you treat people. So I don't want to repeat this pattern. I'm currently in a place right now where it's scary for me to commit to one person or just a long-term thing. And it's connected to being obligated to something other than myself and my work, which is my mission right now to build my little kingdom. And I find you dynamic and attractive, and we had a great make-out session, and I would love to make out with other parts of your body, but I can't commit to a long-term relationship at this point. And if that doesn't mean that we get to, squish our genitals together, I completely understand. Would you be interested? Like, would you be up for some type of negotiation where we could still have like a physical kind of play?
Yeah, great question. Not right now. I think that would distract me from my purpose and my mission. Thank you for asking, and I'm always open to negotiation, and you're so attractive. So there's not a lack of desire in my body, but I have to be honest with myself, and I have a feeling we'd have really great sex, and I have a feeling that once we had that sex, that I would want more of it, and what that would do was bump me from my little missions and purposes right now, which is to really be open to receiving a man of my caliber and who's not in a season of building his kingdom. I love that you're in a season of building his kingdom, but that perhaps has already built and is looking for a partner. And so thank you. Thank you for that. I'm sure it would be great hot sex. But no, not at this time.
Are you sure? Because I think it would be really great hot sex too.
Yeah, well, when you're ready to do more than fuck me, you let me know. Because I am a really good sex partner.
Okay, and this is very tempting now because for me as a man, I really you saying no is a big turn on. And what I need to do now is actually
I have to go.
accept what you're saying.
I've got those missions and purposes.
Hey, thanks so much for coming to this
We'll
week's
tune back
episode
in
of the
for next
Partnership
time.
Podcast.
We'll talk
Part
to you
2 coming up
soon.
soon. Make sure and like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.